Paul Perello, and welcome to the Philly Factor. Philadelphia was one of the first cities in the country to introduce curbside recycling. However, since recycling was introduced back in 1987, Philadelphia has failed to achieve a good waste diversion rate for the percentage of total waste that's diverted from disposal at landfills through reduction, reuse, and recycling programs. As a matter of fact, the rate was only 7%, ranking Philadelphia 7th out of 8 in waste diversion programs in American cities with populations over 1 million. Now, despite the obvious and not so obvious reasons we need to recycle, the city continues to assess and reassess its recycling program and looks for ways to improve it. One such program occurred in January 2009, which allowed residents in Philadelphia to recycle every week on the same day as their trash day. And starting in 2010, residents will be rewarded for their recycling efforts. Philadelphia's Recycling Rewards program is run by Recycle Bank, a Philadelphia-based company that was responsible for the Chestnut Hill and West Oak Lane pilot program that boasted neighborhood participation rates by 90%. So if it's working in Chestnut Hill and West Oak Lane, hopefully it's going to work in the rest of the city. Well, here to tell us about the program and who stands to benefit is Katie Edwards, project coordinator for the Clean Air Council. Katie, welcome to the Philly Factor.
Hi, Paul. Thank you very much for having me today.
Of course, the Clean Air Council does wonderful work throughout the year getting the message out, whether it's about the ozone level or even now about recycling. It's startling to, in this day and age, that a big city like Philadelphia, that the recycling rate isn't better than the statistics that I mentioned at the outset. And of course, we're just singling out Philadelphia, and I don't know how that perhaps stacks up to our surrounding 4 communities or 4 counties in southeastern Pennsylvania, but you would think that we would be doing a better job recycling than what we are.
Well, unfortunately, recycling hasn't been an administrative priority in the city for a very long time. When it first started in 1987, the city was all gung-ho, and they actually set goals saying that the city must be recycling 40% of their waste by, it was somewhere in the late 90s. Unfortunately, when the next mayor was elected and there was turnover internally, recycling got pushed to the wayside. It was also during the times when people weren't quite sure if recycling was working. New York City disbanded their entire recycling program for a couple years because they simply weren't seeing any financial benefit, and therefore they weren't sure if they should just be going with an environmental benefit. So until 2007, when Mayor Nutter was elected, recycling was really pushed by the wayside. And then when the Mayor Nutter was elected, he came in and said recycling is going to be a priority for our city. I understand that it not only improves our environment by reducing waste, but it's a great way for the city to save money.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the efforts that started in the late 80s was because many of the news stories were about landfills and how the landfills were basically filling up, and people were wondering, what are we going to do with all the city trash? And ironically, much of Philadelphia's trash was going to landfills, not in Philadelphia, but in South Jersey or other locations. And there was even this barge that was out there in the Atlantic Ocean just floating from East Coast port to East Coast port because nobody knew what to do with all that trash that was on the barge. So then it seemed to catch all the attention that we really need to be doing something to cut down on the amount of trash that was being put into landfills. So here we are looking at communities that will be rewarded now for their recycling efforts. So I want to get into that a little bit about the Recycling Rewards program, but give us a little bit of perspective of how or why the Clean Air Council then is involved with not only Philadelphia's recycling program, but recycling in general.
Well, interestingly enough, you talk about how recycling came about because people really had nowhere to put their trash. They were looking at the landfills filling up, they were sending them to incinerators, which was creating an enormous amount of air pollution, and Clean Air Council was approached by a group of South Philadelphia residents in 1986 because they were planning on putting an incinerator in South Philadelphia. Philadelphia. And these residents said, we don't want an incinerator in our neighborhood. What do we do? Clean Air Council came up with the idea, well, if the city institutes a recycling program, then it's going to be reducing the amount of waste that they're creating, and we won't need the incinerator to deal with the extra volume of waste. Sure enough, that happened. We sold the idea to City Council, and next thing we knew, we had this nation's very first mandatory curbside recycling program. And because of that program, we were actually able to also shut down an incinerator in Northwest Philadelphia, which a lot of
the Roxborough
area, which a lot of people remember. So it goes back to the 80s and really looking at NIMBY, which is not in my backyard, and people saying, I don't want an incinerator in my backyard, and that leading to coming up with ways to solve the problem of waste and coming up with a great recycling program.
And I guess at the very beginning, when recycling was instituted in the city of Philadelphia, it was every other week. You had to put your recycles out the day before trash day. Then it was, it was sort of the green bucket day or the blue bucket day, and that confused people. And then, and something that I never got was that only certain things were being recycled in the very beginning. Paper was a given, you could recycle, and you could recycle aluminum, but glass wasn't part of the initial recycling effort. And people said, okay, well, we could recycle paper, we could recycle aluminum and plastic, but glass wasn't part of it. But now, give us an idea, everything pretty much, paper, glass, plastic, all recycled today.
Paper, glass, plastic. Plastics right now are only recycled ones and twos. If you look on the bottom of every container, there's going to be a little recycling arrow with a number in it. And you want to make sure that it's only number 1 or number 2 that's going into your bin. But otherwise, any not aluminum foil. A lot of people think because that has food waste on it. But aluminum cans, metal cans, glass bottles, plastics, paper, cardboard boxes that you would receive cereal in, something along those lines. Everything can be recycled. If you really look at your waste, you can minimize how much trash you're putting out by knowing everything that can go into the recycling bin. And unfortunately, the city wasn't talking and educating people about that for a long time, so people didn't want to bother. The other thing was you had to separate it into different bins, so you had to worry about taking up the space in your apartment or your home to have, these separated bins, where now it's so simple. All you have to do is throw everything into one bin. It goes out on the same day as your trash, so you never have to wonder, oh, is it recycling week, and then miss it, and then you have all these recyclings build up, and you want to just throw it out because you want it out of your house. So it's really, really simple for residents to recycle now. They have no excuses. The city sends out wonderful pamphlets that have information on everything that can go in there, and hopefully they'll look to expanding, plastics and letting plastics 3 through 7 be recycled more, and expanding what we can recycle in our city pretty soon.
You mentioned a good thing, because we recycle a lot. I was never aware that you had to look at the bottom of the plastic container. Now, I've never been slapped with a citation either saying that you can't recycle that plastic, but I think that's an important thing to know, because people think, okay, like a plastic soda bottle, you would think maybe, all right, just going to throw it in the recycle bin. But it has to have number 1 or number 2 with the recycling mark on the bottom of that bottle. If not, you should just then discard it into your regular trash, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have this new Philadelphia Recycling Rewards program that swings into high gear in 2010. And it's kind of exciting because it now offers an incentive, not like worried about the environment is an incentive enough, but now homeowners, and the city is divided into a number of different sections, and it's going to be gradually rolled out in neighborhoods, but by the end of 2010, the whole recycling program will be in effect in the city of Philadelphia. Is that the game plan?
That's the game plan. Right now, they're expected to have the entire city covered with the Recycling Rewards program by July 2010.
Okay.
They're going to be rolling out, I actually brought a handy map.
Yeah, sure.
You can look at. If you can see, this is the map of Philadelphia. And they're going to start rolling the program out in the neighborhoods that have the lowest recycling rates.
Okay.
Because they know that this is a problem neighborhood. We want to get the ball rolling right now while everyone's really excited about this program. So they're going to roll it out in North Philadelphia in February.
Okay.
Then they're going to move to the lower Northeast, and they're going to roll that out in March. From there, they're going to go over to West Philadelphia, and West Philadelphia, from City Line Avenue all the way down, anything west of the Schuylkill River will be getting recycling rewards in April. From there, they'll move over to my home, South Philadelphia, like you, in May 2010. I can't wait. And then they're going to go up to the greater Northeast in June. And then from there, they're going to go to Roxborough and Mount Airy and Chestnut Hill in July 2010, because this is the neighborhood that traditionally is recycling at the highest rates.
Why is that? I mean, is there any indication or any reason why that the Roxborough, Manayunk area is doing the greatest job in recycling and North Philadelphia isn't? Is it just because the message isn't getting out to the residents there? I mean, why is that?
I really think you're exactly right. I don't think the message is getting out. I think recycling and looking at environmental issues have always been part of these communities, and people have been really aware of their environment, so they've known about recycling. In North Philadelphia, that might not be the case. Interestingly enough, South Philadelphia is recycling at the highest rate as of the last 2 months.
Really?
Yes. South Philadelphia, if you look in the Pensport
and that's just
neighborhood.
Coming from my household, I'll let you know.
I think it is you, Paul. They're diverting 28% of their waste to the recycling plant instead of to the landfill, which is phenomenal, because this time last year, they were probably only doing around 7 or 8% of their waste. So it's not something that has to be ingrained for a long time. Once we got the single stream weekly recycling, neighborhoods like South Philadelphia jumped on board, and now they're recycling like gangbusters.
Oh, that's good. Now, I want to get into how the program is going to work, because you will continue to put single stream items. They call it single stream recycling. Everything goes into the one bin. It goes out on trash day. But how are they going to know my household, my street, my block, my community is participating in recycling, and how is the incentive going to work for me? So let's get into how the program's going to work.
Sure. Well, first of all, the thing you need to know is how you can sign up for this program. You want to go to www.phillyrecyclingpays.com.
Okay.
Once you get there, you're going to register your household. It's only reward points based on a household basis.
Okay.
So if you have roommates in your household, you have to share those points. Unfortunately, you can't just
or just
keep
not
them for
tell your
yourself.
roommate.
Not
that's
tell your
all, right,
roommates about
exactly.
it. So you have to make sure that they're going to be sending one sticker per household.
Okay.
And once you do that, you register your household. Beginning in January 2010, they're going to be mailing out these stickers in welcome kits, which explain the entire program. When you get your sticker, all you have to do is put it on the recycling bin that you already have.
Okay.
If you use a city-issued bin, that's wonderful. If you use your own bin, what a lot of people don't know is you don't have to have the city blue bin.
Okay.
You can have any hard-sided container that's under 35 gallons, and as long as it's marked recycling, they're going to collect it for recycling.
Okay.
So you don't have to bother getting a city bin. You can have your own. Put your sticker on it, and then when your collection day comes and they collect your recycling, that little sticker has a barcode on it, and it's going to be scanned by the truck, and it's going to note this person put out recyclables this week. Now, you're going to accrue points based on that you put out your recycling that week. Then they're also going to look at if your entire sanitation district, where I brought another little map, you can see the day that you get your recyclables collected is what they're going to be basing all their information on.
Okay.
So they're going to look not at how many tons that you recycled as an individual household. They're going to look at how many tons of recycling was recycled on that day.
Okay.
And then they're going to divide the points according to how many households participated. Now, they have factored in, if you have a low participation rate, it's not going to mean more individual points for you.
Okay.
You have to get your neighbors to do it too. You're going to get more points based upon how many people in your neighborhood are putting out bins, how many people are signed up for the program, and then how much waste that you reduce. They're going to be looking at the tonnage of trash collected.
Right.
And if that goes down, you're going to accrue extra points as well.
Okay.
So it's really based on getting everyone in your community to recycle, making sure they're putting it out on a weekly basis, and making sure that you're reducing the amount of trash that you put out.
All right. And then those rewards are based, as you said, not on an individual household, but the community. Now, is that community based on block or like, for instance, in the first map that you showed us, the South Philadelphia area is pretty big.
Yes.
So it's not based on all of South Philadelphia recycling. It's based on that particular slice of the community that is recycling,
yes,
correct?
It's a much smaller slice. It's probably 4 or 5 blocks.
Okay.
So you really want to talk to your individual neighbors and make sure that they're getting signed up for this program. Individuals can make an impact, and I think that is one of the really strong points of this program, because especially in neighborhoods like North Philadelphia, people listen to their neighbors, people listen to the people on their block captains, more than they trust people that come in from, the city of Philadelphia.
Sure. And the incentive is that you're getting something for your recycling effort.
Yes.
Now, people may be confused. What is it that I'm going to get? Is the mayor going to show up on my doorstep every other Monday with a check for me? Is the sanitation worker going to put an envelope in the mailbox that's going to have, a $5 bill? Let's talk about those rewards, because it's an incentive. They want you to recycle, but people also want to know that what they're getting on their end is going to be worth something. Not just, a congratulatory letter, your neighborhood has completed X amount % of recycling. There are some great rewards that could be had, and they're in the form of coupons, right?
Yes. The rewards are generally in the form of coupons that you can use at a large amount of retailers in the Philadelphia area. They can also be used, you can accrue enough rewards to get a gift certificate to a restaurant.
Okay.
You can get gift certificates to movie theaters. For example, just to give you an idea of how much the rewards are worth, if you sign up early for the Recycling Rewards Program, if you sign up before February 2010, you'll automatically get 100 points put into your account.
Okay.
I already did this.
Good.
I was looking at my 100 points and seeing what I could redeem.
Sure.
With my 100 points, I could have gone to True Value Hardware store, and they would give me a coupon for $10 off a bill of $50 or more.
Okay.
So that's a $10 value just for 100 points, just for signing up early. The average household accrues around $40 worth of coupons a month by participating on a regular basis and recycling an average amount of recyclables, one whole bin. So it does give you enough incentive. It's not saying, oh, well, if you participate, maybe you'll get 25 cents off of an Acme bill. It is a substantial amount of savings that you can accrue.
Now, you mentioned Acme, and they're one of the partners that are involved, and a lot of people do shop at Acme. So again, it's not that they're going to get a coupon for some obscure, out-of-the-way business that people have never heard of before. These are actually businesses, big-scale businesses, big-name businesses, and even smaller establishments in that part of the city that the recycling is taking. So for instance, somebody in South Philly wouldn't get a coupon for a business that might be located in Roxborough, right? They would get something that is pretty much in their neck of the woods.
Yes, they can go online or they can call a hotline. I didn't mention before, but there is a hotline which you can do all of this rewards and all this signing up, and it's 1-888-769-7960. That is a hotline dedicated just to the Philadelphia Recycling Rewards Program. And people can look and see what stores in their neighborhood that they would like to redeem their points at. There's a lot of small local stores that are signing up, and they get benefits from marketing. They have people on their site seeing that they go to their stores. They're getting guaranteed customers through this program, and they're supporting an environmental initiative.
Now, this type of recycling rewards program, I'm sure it's been used in other cities. And what has been the success in other cities? Because I guess the organizers like Philadelphia City Sanitation Department, the Mayor's Office, Clean Air Council, everybody's looking to see what the results are in other cities, and they're hoping to not only repeat those results, but exceed those results in Philadelphia.
Yes. In Wilmington, they went from having no recycling program whatsoever to instituting Recycle Bank and having a program that at least 70% of people were participating in and putting out recycling on a regular basis. They increased dramatically. Cherry Hill did the same thing. They increased their rates dramatically. In Philadelphia, when they did the first pilot program, West Oak Lane, which you mentioned before, increased their participation rate, which is the amount of people participating and putting out recycling on a regular basis, to 90%.
Wow.
They went from minimal participation, I would say 3 to 4%, to 90%. And the tonnage increased to over 40% of material that's being diverted from the landfill. The reason that this program is all possible is because when we are diverting material from the landfill, the city is saving an enormous amount of money. Right now, it costs around $65 a ton to landfill material, where it only costs 33 cents a ton to recycle material.
Wow.
So in 2008 alone, when the recycling markets weren't very good and the city was paying actually $33 a ton versus 33 cents, they saved around $5.6 million.
Wow, that's quite a savings for the city.
Quite a savings.
Especially in the cash-strapped days that the city is currently experiencing.
Yes.
Right.
And they were only recycling at, a 10 to 12% rate. So if we can get our rates up to 30, 40%, which is about what the national average is, we can be saving tens of millions of dollars.
Katie, what's the game plan for this? Because there will be so much effort put into the education and the awareness campaign for the Recycling Rewards program. Is it out there for a year? Is it going to be out there for 2 years? Is it out there indefinitely? And as we said, the Nutter administration has been pretty receptive to assessing and then reassessing the program. I'm guessing, people may say, well, if the program is such a success and that recycling rate is up by the end of 2010, that the city might decide, well, we don't need to do it any longer because people are now acclimated to the need to recycle. So is there a long-term plan for this rewards program?
I haven't heard from the city exactly what the long-term plan is, but with a program like this, people are going to get really accustomed to receiving their coupons.
Sure.
And they're going to get used to recycling, and this creates such an incentive that I don't think that if they pulled the program away, people would be recycling at such a high rate. I think it is a really brilliant program because it's sharing the cost savings with everyone. The city is not only getting the cost savings, but the residents are getting the cost savings as well.
Sure.
And the city set the program up with Recycle Bank so that Recycle Bank is not getting any revenue unless the city is getting revenue.
Okay.
So it's a very performance-based program. So they are not they're not going to be losing money on this program. So I don't see them looking at taking it back. The one way that it could be ended is if people really look at abusing the system. Now, Recycle Bank and the city of Philadelphia put their thinking caps on, and they said, what are ways that people can cheat the system with this program?
So they even looked at this going into it.
They even looked at this going into it. It's Philadelphia. Everybody is out there to make an extra.
To benefit, that's right. Yeah, right.
That's how we are.
Right.
But they really looked and they troubleshoot everything. For example, that's one of the reasons that they're doing the recycling on a community-based effort. Because if you had individual households, they thought people are going to be competing and they're going to be stealing their neighbors' recyclables.
Only in Philadelphia.
Only in
right?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day, it's great because it's still the amount of material going to the landfill, but someone's losing out on their coupons.
Yeah.
So
what happens if a person loses or their recycling can with the sticker on it, with that barcode, disappears, gets destroyed, gets blown away, and winds up, in a different community altogether? I mean, it's not as far-fetched as as sometimes you believe, but. Can they get another sticker if, in fact, something happens to that original sticker?
Yes, absolutely. That original sticker will be discontinued, so it's not like someone can be going and accruing points. I'm not quite sure why they would want to be accruing points for someone else, but it will discontinue that sticker. They'll be issued a new sticker because that's a problem. Personally, I've had my recycling bin stolen 3 times. Yeah. I am a recycling coordinator and I have easy access to bins, so I just think of it as distributing it throughout the community.
Exactly. Yeah, you never know. People desperate for recycling bins, they'll pick it up wherever they can, right?
It's that great of a program.
Yeah. Now, does the person's account also change with the issuing of a new sticker, or you still maintain the account based on the household as opposed to the the can and the sticker.
You'll still maintain the account based on the household. You won't lose any of your points. That'll all stay the same because the sticker simply looks at marking whether you've participated that week.
Mm-hmm. And in order for this program to be successful, everybody needs to cooperate. And we're talking about the household, the residents. We're also talking about the people that come and pick up the recycles. Mm-hmm. We need also the vendors, the partners that you've managed to bring to the program. So everybody really needs to be in this together. And as you said, they really made a concerted effort to look at all aspects of the system to make sure that everything is going to fire on all cylinders to make sure that there aren't any problems. But the Nutter administration has been very receptive to any type of ideas or ways of improvement or problems that may come up with the system. They would be most eager to hear about some of those challenges that are out there on the streets.
Yes, without a doubt. That's one thing with the Nutter administration. We have 311 now where you can call and talk about issues in your neighborhood. For example, if you see a recycling truck that isn't necessarily scanning all the RFID bins, I'm sure you can call Recycle Bank and tell them about it. They're going to be educating the crews, but as a citizen, you can also do your part to help.
And in South Philadelphia, because that's where we're both from,
Yes.
if the recycling crew isn't doing their job, the people in South Philadelphia will make sure they do their job. Because if they're going to get cheated out of a coupon for Acme or Lowe's or whatever, they're going to make sure that that crew is doing their job. Let's mention the website again and the phone number where people can get more information about the program.
It's phillyrecyclingpays.com, and then the hotline you can call is 1-888-769-7960.
Okay, and there you can find more information. You could also call and register, and you could also do it online. So people who may not have internet access at home, especially some of the elderly viewers of the program, they could call, and the person on the hotline would be more than eager to help them and set that account up.
Absolutely. It's a hotline that's been set up just for the Philadelphia Recycling Rewards program, and I have talked to the people, and they're so excited about this program that they're willing to answer any questions and help everyone.
All right, and so by the end of 2010, the Philadelphia recycling program swings into high gear, and the rewards program, recycling rewards program, will be fully implemented. Well, we want to thank you for your time, for being on the program.
Thank you very much. It was great to be here and talk about this program.
All right, thank you so much. Until the next time, my name is Paul Perillo, and thanks for watching The Philly Factor.